Hi, and welcome to another episode from Geek-Dom. I'm your host, Don. Alright, so I'm going to be continuing today on my NEMS series. NEMS, the Nagios Enterprise Monitoring Server for single board computers. In the first video, just showed you how to install it, set up monitoring on one device, just kind of put the training wheels on. I will put a link to that video in the description. But let's go ahead and get started. Just going to go a little bit more in depth on Nconf configuration. If you're energy conservative like I am, aka lazy, I don't like typing in IP addresses all the time. I do that enough at work as it is. So on this machine, I've actually modified the host file on this computer so that when I type in NEMS, it actually knows the IP address of where I'm going. If you like to set something like that up, I'll put a link in the description to my video on how to do that on a Windows machine. I am working on videos for Mac and Linux also, so hopefully I'll have those up soon. Now this is not my actual production NEMS server here at the house. That's why you see this guy. I am a patron. I fully appreciate all of Robbie's work on all this, and I do contribute. So if you find NEMS useful, it's helpful, please truly consider becoming a patron. It really helps this project continue to grow. And if for nothing else, this guy will go away when you do. So with that, let's go to configuration. Configurator. Done. Super secret password. Now in the first video, like I said, showed you how to go in and set up one host, and how to set up just a basic ping on it. I have added another one here just for the purposes of this video. If you got a small shop, or you're just doing your home network, and you've only got a handful of devices, it may not be that bad to go in and just modify one, or each device individually. I am a geek, hence Geek-Dom.com. Raspberry Pis alone, I have 11 of them. Throw in 3 printers, network attached storage. I even monitored my Nest Home Protects with this. As long as it will reply to a ping, you can at least monitor it that way. So, first things I'm going to show here is contacts. Now, when we did the initial setup in the last video, it asked for my email address, and that's what is set up here. But that's only going to be email. But I also want to add a new contact, because I'm not always in my email, but I am pretty much glued to my phone. Notification periods, I'll go over this here in a minute. Host notification options. I don't have all these memorized, even though I've used Nagios for years. I will put a link in the description to definitions of these. Some of them are kind of easy to figure out. Get notified when it's down, when it's up, when it's recovered. Think flapping. Don't quote me on those. Now to get text alerts. Pretty much every cell phone carrier has an option to set up mail to text. So what you need to do is, just Google your carrier and mail to text. So for example, not my real number, by the way. I think it's vztext.com. I could be wrong, but this is a bogus phone number, so it doesn't matter. It will be a format like this. So just like I said, just do a quick Google search. Actually, let's... another text. Oh, see, I got it wrong. vText. So you can do the same thing for any other carriers. So, really easy to find how it is. So let's correct that for my bogus number. Here you can add some templates, some predefined commands in there. Notification options if you use them, Telegram, pushover, etc. And I am going to add my phone to the admins group. That way, if I want to modify settings for both my email and my phone, I can just do it in one spot for, basic things, not like the number or the name or anything like that. But I'll get more into groups here in a minute. Let's go ahead and submit that. Alright, so now we got our contacts set up. Let's look at time periods. So by default, you got a 24/7, you got a none, and you got work hours. Work hours by default is only going to be Monday through Friday, but since it's my home network, I'm going to go ahead and add Saturday and Sunday. This does go on a 24-hour clock, so this is going to be the start of the notification period and the end of the notification period. So these are set up to notify me between 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. And if you want the same schedule to be applied to multiple host templates, service templates, you can just add those in. So if I want all Linux servers to have that workday, okay, now we got notifications set up. Let's go in and talk about host groups. Host groups are great. Let's just go ahead and look at one. Since I'm going to be doing Raspberry Pis, let's look at Linux servers. So right now I don't have anybody in there. Assign host group. It's just if you want to add, by default, a bunch of items. Now if you don't like these, because some of these do require additional steps, there's a agent you can install called NRPE for Linux, and that will actually let you go in and get a lot of these information, as you can see in NRPE. So that'll be more in depth in another video. But for now, let's take all these out and just do good old standard ping. Okay. But now, like for myself, since I do have so many Raspberry Pis, and I have other Linux devices on my network, I want to go in and set up a host group. So let's go to add. So while we're setting it up, we can add the Raspberry Pi I've already got in there. This is if you want this host group to fall as a child object of another host group. And here's where we can set up base commands. I'm not going to add any in a moment. So now if we go back in here and look, my first Raspberry Pi is in there. And that's great if you're doing this and you've already got all your devices in there, but what about when you add a new one? Fair question. So let's add RPI02. OS, Linux, monitor by default. Gonna switch it to work hours just because I like my beauty sleep. Not gonna add a host template in here. Pair host. Need to add these. Now, one of the things, they don't have an asterisk next to them, but it will throw some wrenches in your monitoring if you don't set these up. And I'm just putting numbers in here. Okay, again, I'll have a link to that in the description. And now here we're going to add it to that host group. Alright, so right now it's not inheriting any host group services. So let's go into host group. Let's go into Raspberry Pi. And let's go ahead and add, let's see, ping and SSH. Let's go ahead and generate the config file. Now, even though you don't see anything here, sometimes there's a warning that doesn't get shown up here. So it's always good to drop that down. Everything looks great. Let's go ahead and deploy. Alright, we are good. Let's go to reporting. Okay. So we're getting this error because I went in, I was trying to set up a failure, so I changed the SSH port. Let's look at hosts. Everybody else looks good. Now you'll see over here, white, that's because there's a check that hasn't ran yet. So we can click on ping and we can actually tell it to go out and check it now. Refresh your browser. And boom, we're up. So, trying to make these videos in short segments. Trying to make them to about 15 minutes. And each video I'll go a little bit more in depth. So if you found this helpful, if you liked it, please consider subscribing and hitting the like button, just so I know that these videos are getting out to people and being used. And again, if you like NEMS, please consider becoming a patron. I'll put the links and everything in the description. If you guys got anything specific you want me to show you, please let me know. Send me a comment, and we'll just go from there. Alright, appreciate you joining me.